That's why In the Morning is still running live. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or it's Barry Moore on every social media platform, and it's always a pleasure to hang out with you every single weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Special thanks to Hilda Wathithi for the bulletin, and Kalami, Val, and Horace for sharing that story of a budding music producer in the industry. And that's what Tuesday is all about, rather. Sharing stories about entrepreneurs, and I'm not about to stop. In studio with me is two amazing youths who are making moves in the industry, and they come from a farm called Viscar. Viscar is a knowledge-based firm specializing in training, consulting, and resourcing. And the gentleman goes by the name of Samuel Kamau, and the lady goes by the name of Winnie Otieno, and they'll share with us their stories and their roles in particular at this particular firm. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
So we'll start with the lady.
Okay, thank you, Barry. Just like you mentioned, my name is Winnie. I work as an account manager at Viscar Industrial Capacity Limited. So basically my role is to be able to establish relationships that grow the company, and also be able to...
I thought that was the role of the PR person.
No. To be able to grow the company in line with us being able to identify the needs outside there, so that we are able to develop solutions that actually address those needs. So I'm able to have conversations with our target clients to understand what exactly they need, and then we can be able to customize a solution to address their specific needs.
Powerful.
Yeah, so my day-to-day job is to be able to talk to people, get to understand their pain points. Then I come back, we have conversations in-house, and we come up with a solution for it.
Amazing. Yes. What about you, my brother?
Okay, so my name is Samuel Kamau. At Viscar, I am a client solutions executive. So what that means is that I get to understand the needs of the various, whether it's individuals or organizations, get to understand what exactly they need in order to improve, whether it's their performance or the specific skill or certain gap that they need filled, and I come up with a solution tailor-made to that specific need, so that they can be able to have the solution ready, or have a solution that actually meets their needs. So basically my job entails getting to identify the need and coming up with a solution that's tailor-made for that need.
All right, before we carry on, Viscar is an acronym, yeah?
Yes.
Are you willing to share with us what it means and for, or it stands for?
Yes. So Viscar is an acronym of two words, vision and careers.
Vision and careers.
Yes. So just like you mentioned, we are a knowledge-based firm. So what we do is to be able to partner with individuals and organizations to be able to develop your people in line with their careers, you know, to be able to make your vision come real.
There are three major pillars, yeah?
Yes.
No, training.
Yes.
Resourcing.
Yes.
And
consultancy.
Yes.
All right, before we focus on the pillars, when was Viscar set up or founded?
Okay. Viscar was started in 2008, August. And actually in September, we'll be turning 10 years old. We'll be 10 years in the market. Yes.
You look quite young. Two of you. Were you in college when you started Viscar?
Oh.
Well, I think I need to narrow down to this person. What were you doing back in 08?
Okay, I had not joined campus.
You had not joined campus yet?
Yes.
But you were this ambitious?
So, no, sorry, I had actually joined campus. Yes, I joined campus. I think I was in my second year.
What's your background in education?
Manufacturing and industrial engineering.
Manufacturing and industrial engineering.
And I think probably that kind of skips. Our specialization as Viscar is in engineering technology. And that actually informs our backgrounds. Samuel is an IT specialist. My background is in engineering. So we are able to have those technical conversations outside there, even
as you sell your product. Yes. Which is very important. So your background in education comes in handy. So education is very important. In IT,
Yes.
you specialized in IT, manufacturing,
Yes.
and
Industrial engineering.
Yes.
Yes.
Education is very important,
Yes.
even if you want to set up a startup. 22162 is the SMS line. Start with YM254. Never ever forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from. Your views, your comments, your questions are invited. Direct them to me, or you can direct them to our specialist over here. So back to the pillars now. I think you'll handle one, she handles one, and then another one we'll figure out. So let's start with the training.
Okay. So at Viscar, we offer training that is in line with the various, I would say, industry sectors. So we have trainings that are for ICT and telecommunication. We have trainings that are for manufacturing and energy. And we also have trainings that are for safety. And also we have trainings that are cross-industry. And we have specialized training that is for the youth who've just finished who are about to finish or who just finished their either diplomas or degrees. Yeah, what we call the EGDP, Engineering Graduate Development Program.
So you work with people from institutions of higher education. You
Yes.
need some higher education experience
For
for you to consume this type of training that you guys offer.
Specifically, when dealing with working with the youth, the Engineering Graduate Development Program is specifically for youth who are just about to finish either their diplomas or degrees, and their background is in what I would say the engineering technology background. So we are looking at either your background is probably in civil engineering, mechanical, electrical engineering, ICT, telecommunication. So those backgrounds. Now we have the EGDP program that will help you bridge the skill gap of between what is offered in college and what you need to actually excel in your profession. Yes.
What is required in the market?
Yes, what is required in the
All right.
market.
How do you offer these trainings? Do you have like teachers in your payroll, or how does it work? I'm curious.
Okay, I think before I delve into that, I'll briefly just add in a little bit on what Samuel has talked about. You know, the conversation about skills gap, it's actually what is currently going on. You know, there's a lot being said about the mismatch. You know, what employers or the industry needs and what the graduates, the capability of the graduates who leave our tertiary education. So that is actually where our passion lies as Viscar. By the way, to mention, this is the flagship program for Viscar. It's what started Viscar before we expanded into other areas.
This gap.
The engineering graduate level, the need to address this gap, because it was evidently there. You know, if you, for example, you'd find, you know, the other day I went to some workshop, and you know, one of the facilitators was making a joke that you find an engineering graduate who comes in to an industry and you show him some type of a machine, and for some reason they don't know what this is.
Because they've never seen it before.
You can imagine, and you can't blame them. Yes, because they have not seen it. So actually that's what we seek to address as Viscar, that we are able to understand, you know, those the emerging skills that industries today need.
Do you feel that there's a need for our institutions of higher learning to step up?
Of course, the conversation now is towards industry and you know, academia partnership. So that's where they they need to be able to
because schools cannot do
understand.
anything, and they cannot get all the equipment. But when they partner with the industries,
and actually, the industry in this instance is the employer. They know what they need. So the moment academia is in and they understand, okay, this is how we need to tailor our programs. So that when these guys get out, then, you know, they are attractive. You know, somebody wants to have them, because employers today say, I have a fresh graduate who I am interviewing, and for some reason I can't place them anywhere. You can't blame the employer, because at the end of the day, an employer wants somebody who comes in, they are off to go, right?
They're working.
Yeah. So how we do it is this: we work with industry-based consultants. These are people who are actually practicing in the industry. An engineer outside there, who probably who is a production manager, technical manager, something like that, who understands especially what specific skills they need. So working with these people, we are able to tailor programs that are made to address such gaps, right? And they are offered by these particular consultants. So actually they talk about what they do like every day. It's not like theory or anything. So that's where the practical aspect comes in.
So the training is really hands-on?
Very hands-on. You know, we have a training center at Ngong Road where, you know, trainees are able to access different practical equipment depending on the kind of training they're doing.
Different across the fields of engineering?
Yes. So that coupled with, because we have a lot of partnerships in the industry, so we are able to access these particular organizations through field visits, placements during the training. Actually, this training, it is a 3-month training that is 30% theoretical, 70% practical. Then after these 3 months, then we deploy these trainees for another 3 months for internship. And that is still part of the training. So ideally, this training is a 6 months training. After these 6 months, we're very confident that this fresh graduate outside there, in comparison with somebody who's just left college straight into the job market, they're incomparable.
Is there like a certificate provided?
Yes. Of course.
There is a certificate.
Yes.
And there's always been a problem with the Engineers Board of Kenya. They want to register students from this school, they don't want to register students from this other school. What do you think about this?
Okay, I don't think, I think...
Is it really necessary to be registered with these people?
It's very necessary. You know, it's good for a profession to be regulated, right?
Doctors have theirs, lawyers have theirs.
Yes. And then I think the issue that has been there has been, you know, there at some point where there's some degree programs that the engineering board for some reason had not accredited, and therefore I think that brought up some issues back then, that you completed your engineering degree for 5 years and the board is like, we don't recognize this degree program. But I think those issues have been rationalized. Right now, if you go at the board's website, you can see all the accredited programs from all the universities that are offering engineering degree programs. So I think the information.
So before
is
you go
outside
in,
there.
you know what you're in for.
And we're living in a technology age, and by the time you're going to the university, I think, you know, these things. Of course, more needs to be done about it so that people are aware, but I think that information is right outside there. I think when I was joining the university, probably at that point, some of us, you know, some of these things were not so clear. Like, you know, the degree you're going to do, is it accredited or something like that? But, you know, okay, luckily enough, mine was. So I didn't find myself in that particular, but I think right now things are very clear, and the board is right now doing a lot in terms of regulating the engineering profession. I think a lot is happening.
Does it cost me money to acquire this training?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You can give us an outlay of how it works, yeah. Okay.
So basically, like she said, it's a 3 months program whereby the classes are between 5:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. So this doesn't affect your normal schedule. So if you're interning somewhere, you still have the opportunity to actually go on with it. So the cost is 50,000. This should cater for the 3 months. And then afterwards, there's the 3 months attachment. So the program runs for 6 months. Yes.
All right. Which leads to my next pillar, which is resourcing. Because resourcing really involves connecting the employer and the required staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, tell me about this resourcing. How does it work and everything?
Okay. So basically, Viscar has been doing resourcing for quite a while. I think for about almost 7-8 years. And so basically what happens is that organizations tend to look for people for projects that are at times short term. Project can be 3 months, 6 months. And what we've done is that we come in to to handle the recruitment and also everything regarding now the HR part of resourcing for an organization. So what happens is that, for example, if it's Safaricom who needs staff to do a fiber project somewhere, they will come to us and we will we will look for the resources on their behalf. And so the resources will be hired by we as Viscar, and they'll do the project on behalf of the client. Yes, so that's how it works. So it's basically what you would call short-term projects, and we handle we provide the resources to the client. The resources might be required locally or even abroad. So our projects, or rather we handle the resourcing aspect for the client, both wherever the location and for whatever duration that is required. So what people need to do in order to access these opportunities that come up is that they need to sign up on our resourcing portal. It's on our website. Go create your profile, fill in all your details, your academic background, your professional background, so that when these opportunities come up, we look into our database, because that's where we first look for resources before we can start recruiting.
All right, and these people who go through the training that you offer, they automatically get onto your database, right?
Yes.
Of course.
That's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
All right, so I'm pretty curious. Somebody once said working with a machine is 100 times easier than working with human beings, because when you wake up in the morning, you turn on the red button, it will do whatever is required of it, no feelings on the job and everything. How is it working or being the resource person, the human resource person for all these firms? Because it's like they don't like the stress as well, so they offload the stress to you.
Okay, that's what we do. That's actually, we are there to alleviate those pain, because we know that, for example, recruitment has been a pain to many organizations. I think probably if maybe you've been keen on, you'd see some positions advertised maybe by an organization, like 3 times or something. You know what that means? These people go through the entire recruitment process, they don't get a fit. You can imagine all that time spent, and of course resources
as well.
They do it again and again. But now that is where we come in as Viscar. We are able to not just dash in straight into recruitment. We come in and understand your business objective, overly.
And you need
how is this person coming to fit? Because sometimes you probably get a fit. This person comes and works for 1 month, and they just can't stand it. For some reasons, they're not fitting into your organization culture, some other things, and they cannot just perform, and they feel, they just burnt out, just like that. So those are the things we look at. That by the time we are bringing you a resource, we have looked at all the aspects, not just the technical aspect, because somebody can be very good, but then there are other things that also will determine whether they stay put, they perform or not. So yes, the question of, the issues of machines and everything, okay, I know, of course, as, the industrial, revolution, today we're talking of Industry 4.0, what that is basically, an automated age, where, a lot of things that, were done by humans will be done by robots.
Especially the routine ones.
Yes, the routine ones. Which is okay, because we also have an opportunity as, youths and everything to be able to pick up, to grow in terms of skills in those areas. Because still, if, for example, you have an entire processing line automated, still there's going to be a specialist that ensures that this thing is having somebody who is, back there programming, doing stuff. So it's not all lost. And, Viscar, what we strive is we are ahead there. So that if, industries are moving to this age, that we are also able to, in terms of training, roll out trainings outside there, so that people are picking these skills. So that by the time the industry needs this kind of people, then they're able to get this kind of resources. We are able to tell them as Viscar, look here, we have this kind of people who are able to do this kind of job, because they have gone through us, and therefore we are confident of their capability.
And you have a clientele?
Of course we do. Otherwise, you won't be here.
Alright. So we've covered training and resourcing.
Yeah.
I'm curious about consulting.
Okay.
What do you consult in?
Okay, so just like training, our consultancy also heavily lies towards the engineering technology background, and also a bit of training. So we have various consultancy programs. We do training needs assessments, we do safety audits, we do IT audits, we do energy audits. Yeah, we also do IT audits. We also do.
I know about audits, accounting. When it comes to accounting, I know about audits. Energy audits. What is it?
Okay, so basically, an energy audit is, I would say, looking at your energy consumption. And looking at measures that you need to do in order to reduce your energy consumption. So that's in a nutshell what an energy audit is. Yes.
And you pro green energy.
Yes.
As Viscar.
Yes.
We champions of green energy.
You know, today the conversation around energy efficiency, is energy audit actually focusing, because this is where you're able to assess your energy uses. You're able to identify your areas of losses, because actually what happens is, if you look at the way we consume energy, even in our homes, there are a lot of just misuse. You probably you're leaving an equipment on that is not supposed to be on, and it's switched on.
We're very notorious of that.
It's very notorious. So it is the things we know but we don't do. So that is what an energy audit comes in, and puts everything into perspective, tells you this is how you can be able to save, and this is actually, it quantifies and tells you when you do 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll be able to save like probably this kind of a percentage of your energy. Actually, energy audits, it's proven that companies that have adopted energy efficient measures are currently reaping between 20 to 30% savings of their energy consumption. We all know, like in Kenya, the manufacturing industry is talking about the high cost of production. Actually, the number one cost is energy. Yes, and it's actually a conversation that is very key to people who are in energy intensive, kind of industries. So yes, as a company, we are very, very much pro, green energy. Yes, and it starts with adopting efficient energy practices, and this is something global. The programs we offer actually are able to prepare individuals in terms of understanding how to place the systems, to be able to prepare and even do an effective energy audit, and even have people internally who will champion energy efficiency measures internally.
So as Viscar, instead of complaining about the education system, you try to find a solution of gapping what the industry needs from what we get in the institutions of higher learning. All right, 22162 is still the SMS line. Start with YM254. Don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from. As we come to the end of this, I have so many friends that I went to college with, and engineering students or graduates now, and they're jobless. They don't have jobs, and they end up doing things or other forms of work that they were not trained in. How does Viscar come in for them? Because I know you're a solution-based company.
Barry, can I pick up briefly? Now, before I answer, there's an interesting report by World Bank, I think for 2017 or 2016, that actually talks of the high rate of unemployment in Kenya. Actually, we are leading the pack in the East Africa region. And it's talking of an increment of, I think, between 14 to 20 in 2016. And the pointer is not lack of jobs. The pointer is lack of requisite skills for the people who are jobless.
That's why we get doctors from Cuba.
Okay, that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Yes, so it's actually, sadly enough, it's the conversation is shifting away from the lack of jobs. The conversation is actually narrowing towards the requisite skills. So yes, your friends, what you can be able to tell them, what we can tell them, that at Viscar, we would like to understand you as an individual. What do you want to do? What is your passion? What are you looking at? What career path have you drawn for yourself? And we assess your current capability. We'll be able to advise you accordingly in terms of the different engineering graduate development program modules that we have. Which one fits for you, fits you, and which one you can be able to take up. But apart from that, we also have short programs. Just like we say, we do trainings. Apart from offering trainings directly to corporate organizations, we run open programs that target individuals outside there. You know, people who want to grow themselves in specific
just
areas.
Want to better themselves.
Yeah, you want to pick a skill. For example, you know, you're a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer, and you want to get into automation, and therefore you want to know how, for example, frequency drives operate, or something like programmable logic controllers, they know them, PLCs. So you can come and pick a skill, you know, something like that. You know, that sets you apart. When you walk into, you know, an employer premise and you're like, you know, I'm knowledgeable in PLCs, I can be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, understand drives and everything. Somebody listens to you. So I think they should also take an initiative, you know, to grow themselves. Don't sit there and say, okay, me, I did engineering, and you know, I want to be employed as, you know, you can also take an initiative.
There are no
but
opportunities.
We are here for them as Viscar.
Thank you very much, Viscar, for being here for the engineers out there. So how do they sign up? Do they come to the office, or they can do this remotely or online?
Yes. What they can do, on our website, there are various programs. We've listed the various programs that we do offer. You can just select a course and sign up for it. Alternatively, they can reach us on social media. On Twitter.
Talking about social media, you have to talk to them directly. Your camera is number 4.
Okay. So on Twitter, that's Viscar KE, and on Facebook and LinkedIn, that's Viscar Capacity. Yes.
You can spell that Viscar for them, please.
That's VISCAR Capacity, CAPACITY.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have a physical office as well?
Yes, we do.
Where is it located?
So we're located along Gong Road. That's Bermuda Plaza. Bermuda Plaza is just next to the Nairobi Baptist Church. Block A, 4th floor. That's where we are.
All right. Thank you very much for coming through to Y in the Morning, and thank you very much for what you're doing, and thank you very much for becoming a solution instead of complaining like most of us. All right. Thank you very much, Samuel, and thank you very much, Winnie. We appreciate you. We are looking forward to a better nation for all of us with an unemployment rate of 0%.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can get there.
Right. This has been another segment of Y in the Morning, and today happens to be Tuesday. Tuesday we focus on money matters, and we had a gentleman and a lady from Viscar, which is an organization doing amazing stuff for the youth out there. If you're a trained engineer and you need to take a leap to the next step, visit Viscar on their social media handles or their website or their physical office and get sorted out. Let's make this country a better place. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or it's Barry Mo on every social media platform, and this is still Y in the Morning. Shiko Kaitani comes up next with Hello Day. You don't want to touch that down.